talked with him and you've been impressed with his business acumen and professionalism. What you may not know is that he had to overcome many of the same obstacles that kids and families and other kids are facing each and every day. He's had to battle all that life has thrown at him. Recently, he's presented to our girls like Kristen at Inini Hasi or teens like Ruby at Project Bridge. His story resonates because it gives them hope that they can be successful and nothing is too much to overcome. I hope his story inspires you to see the potential, to see it in our kids, and I hope it inspires you to get back and realize that you can help create the next CEO or beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Karras.
Good evening. When I was first asked to speak here tonight at this amazing event, I was both humbled and honored to be here. A lot led up to this invitation, and I wanted to just take a few minutes to share some information with you about the impact that we can have on children and families together. I had the opportunity to have lunch with David Dennis, a personal mentor of mine, the Eckerd Kids president and CEO, some time ago. And I had the opportunity to spend 2 amazing hours with this man who's at the helm of Eckerd. And I wanted to just find out how I could get more involved, put me in coach kind of thing. And because I want to help kids get a second chance as well, just like we all wish for ourselves and for our kids. And I wanted to give back, so after 2 hours, he invited me to come speak to some of the kids at the various programs. One of those programs was Inini Hasi, which you've seen. And it is one of the programs that we're here to raise support for tonight. These 2 programs that I visited serve teenage youth who have lost their way in life, finding themselves in some very painful and very desperate situations. When I visited these 2 programs, and with the permission from his family, I had the opportunity to share a story about a young man named Nicholas. And tonight I want to briefly share that story with you, because it is a story about why Eckerd exists. And most important, why we're all here tonight. At 13 years old, Nicholas was deep in depression, angry, violent, and unbeknownst to him and his family, bipolar disorder. He could have greatly benefited from an Eckerd Kids program. Arrest after arrest, fight after fight, accident after accident, he was heading further and further down a very, very, very dark path. His parents were completely distraught, and they just didn't know what to do to help him. They were constantly getting calls from the police or the hospitals, wondering when they were going to get that call to identify his body. They suffered impossible angst, because they never really knew if he was going to live through his childhood. His sisters resented him because he stole all of their focus. And each day after school, after living what would be deemed a popular kid status at school, he would come home. He would go into his father's sock drawer, pull out a wooden case, grip a .357 nickel-plated Magnum gun with hollow-tip bullets, he would slowly raise it to his temple and contemplate and have a tug of war with his mind about ending it all. His life was literally 1 inch of a trigger pull away. Taking his life would mean missing the potential for years of positive experiences, impacts, successes. But his mind at the time just thought this would end a lifetime of pain and suffering. Here's a picture of Nicholas in that time in his life. You see, that's the man before you today. Pardon the 80s garb. The white on white. And I can tell you he was a hungover boy right there. I wish I could say that a counselor, a treatment center, a person, or Eckerd Kids could have been there to prevent me. I wish I could say that. For the pain that I was living in and the hell that I was creating for me and myself and everyone else around me. But even those days are painful memories, and I'm happy to say they're just memories. And that I'm here to tell my story. Unlike so many youth who take their own lives and the lives of other people. At this crisis point in my life, I spent several days desperately thinking about life and soul searching. My family and friends had grown a little concerned because I disappeared. I was gone for 14 hours. About 1 hour I was looking at what was in front of me, and for the next 13 hours I watched my life in reverse. At that time, somehow I found out and I decided that life was worth living. And that it would get better. It must get better. If you believe in divine intervention, as I do, you could call it that kind of moment. This process of getting away from people, friends, and self-destructive behavior gave me a few days to think in ways that I wasn't able to see my life in the past. Similarly, Eckerd's programs give children the time away from those surroundings, and they give them the ability to do their own soul searching. I didn't have the help of Eckerd Kids to assist me in getting through my struggles, but after my time of searching, I made a very difficult decision to rid myself of everybody in my life that was a friend at the time. You know, the drug dealers, the brawlers, the partiers. They represented everything I didn't want to be anymore. When I was at Inini Hassey, that was one of the things, one of the young ladies asked me, well, how do you get rid of those folks? How do you distance yourself from these people? It's tough, because you come knocking on your door. Or they live in your own home. No longer, though, would I put my family through this. No longer would I make them wonder and worry. Never again would I overshadow my sisters. And no longer would I not live up to my potential. Those were the decisions I made. Life has those moments when one correct decision can change everything. Even if it's by a little bit. Just a trajectory change. So I immediately started burying myself in books and educating myself. This time, I actually wanted to learn, unlike the schooling up until then. Now, I didn't know how to change, but I knew I wanted to change. And I was a son of two successful middle-class people. Just like many of the girls at Inini Hassey are. Eckerd Kids would have helped me. One might ask, how is it even possible that someone coming from such a great background, such great parents, end up with a life of crime and drugs and violence? and kicked out of every school I've ever attended. Maybe some of you can relate to this. Maybe some of you know someone, or maybe your own kids. Depression, violence, anger, bipolar disorder knows no boundaries, crosses all socioeconomic backgrounds. No one's impervious to it. Let's go back to that 1 inch trigger pull. What if I didn't have that aha moment that led me to this new direction, this pivot, this trajectory change? I was literally 1 inch away from ending my life and not having the life I have today. Today, I am so grateful that I made the right choice at my crossroads, that ultimately allowed me to later understand how to manage my life, how to understand my diagnosis. I have a great life, an amazing family, successful business. I have the opportunity to speak at these programs with Eckerd, partner with them, 1 kid at a time, 1 inch at a time. 1 inch is provided on a daily basis by the good people of Eckerd Kids. They change lives every single day. Almost 2,000 people strong in that beautiful angel army. They help kids like myself not end up in very bad situations, or they take them from very bad, life-altering situations. So when I had the opportunity to speak to the girls at Inini-Hassi, I believed my content that I was coming with was going to be this new, profound information that they had never heard before. I was so excited to give them this beautiful gift that I spent a lifetime gathering, only to find out that it was the same information they were already receiving. I came armed with my 7 steps to transform your life. And after the program, and after I was all excited, I thought I did this great job, and then they said, hey, you know, your material's a lot like our system here. I was just blown away by that. My God. Most kids never get to hear this kind of information. Most parents don't give this. There's a lot of kids that don't get that kind of knowledge from their parents or their schools or anywhere in the world. And they were getting it there. I went to inspire them, and they inspired me. They were so amazing. You know, the counselors at Inini-Hassi and many of the other programs offer a lot of valuable information that can change trajectories. They arm them. You can't change your life overnight, but you can change the trajectory of your life in an instant. And they do that. Sometimes it's just a soft-spoken word. Sometimes it's just being there, listening. And often it's guidance, good professional guidance with tools that they can use throughout their entire life. Tonight, we need your support to continue providing children and families of Inini-Hassi, Project Bridge, Raising Hope, and other programs with a second chance to succeed in life. Look at this next picture, please. Imagine you're on a boat, and you're anchored up, and that's your anchor, and you want to leave. You want to move the boat. What do you have to do to move the boat? You're going to pull the anchor, right? Now that anchor I chose on purpose because that's a heavy anchor. It doesn't look like it's an easy job. It's a pretty daunting task. But it's not impossible, it's not easy, just like a lot of challenges in life. But keep in mind that anchor only has to lift off the ground 1 inch. 1 inch, and that boat starts to move. Tonight, you all in attendance represent that 1 inch. Tonight you have a chance to make a 1 inch impact in countless kids' lives. thousands of kids, thousands of children will undoubtedly look back and reflect upon the change that happened because of an Eckerd Kids program that you're here tonight supporting. So tonight, I want to thank you in advance for the generosity in the coming moments, and praise you for being the catalyst for the 1-inch life change, trajectory change in thousands of kids' lives. Thank you.